They call it a pandemic. I call it what it is, a plan, a scam. But with some basis in fact can be made better lies. It's flu on the rebrand, upscaled and on bold linguistic revise. Figures from WHO reveal that global death figures from flu reach between 290,000 and 650,000 annually. But where did the flu go? If we look at their death figures, there was no regular flu in 2020, and all cancers became benign. Heart disease was unrecognised and other infections somehow disinclined. All in their bid to upgrade the Rona, all other deaths were reassigned. A PCR test that is not a true test. The doctor to invent it himself did a test, not to be used for virology, and yet we've overridden this fact. Impossible even to measure or find what one has not yet isolated and thus remains clearly undefined. Instead, the test is designed to find pathogens of so many kinds, to label them just as they wish. So yep, you guessed it, they all get combined to the virus that's assigned. Novel ways came to register deaths, whatever the reason to draw one's last breath. New laws made it likely that the Rona would be cause of death come certificate. Diagnostic incentives became a lure, such financial interests in turn blurred. Not just diagnoses, but how treatment occurred. Over in the States for folk Medicare insured, 3 times the cash if patient listed in the Rona herd, and 39,000 if patient to a ventilator was referred. So guess what treatment then became preferred? Yep, gas and air machines as their usual first port of call, hospital put aside and behind closed doors stored. So many different ways to play the figures occurred. Those doctors early on who were staring to suggest that Rona's situation was overdressed, don't worry, it's simply a bad case of flu. I saw this report in social media posted around by many of you. So media rebrand was given cue, and Rona, simply meaning flu, was given name brand new. Now to be called hitherto novel Rona virus, Ovid-19. And with this media label debut, fear around it further grew. A strategy I saw right through, there to simulate much ado, stimulate. I marked the change from what it had been, and seen it was as further smokescreen. For the rest it came as seamless, the switching of terms routine. Media makeover given full screen, to create fear of new and unseen. Amplify flu to menacing and mean. Media, fear's greatest milking machine. The doctors who still gave question, sharing with insight and precision their scientific knowledge from long-lived medical professions, suppressed, slandered and smeared, the usual triage of repression. It was exactly around this time that YouTube as an information chest suddenly became the world's best, most ever employed repeated jest. Directly post the Plandemic doctor in the videos of all the doctors speaking out. Did you get that news from YouTube? And look, it's just a doctor recording in his room. And that video, look, it's not very well filmed. And that dramatic audio, background music audio, it's an obvious attempt to manipulate. Cheap, repetitive, one's mocking at their behest. Personally, such commentary left me a little unimpressed. Yeah, mate, first-rate thinking, a most logical way to rate. Ignoring validity of the content to keep to the first position augment by relying on straw man argument. So once where folk were formerly critical, media now given free pass as apolitical, even given upgrade to full trustworthy and best. All that this thinking goes to show is how easy it is to deceive. As long as it's brightly lit like in proper television show, then one can consider one's own thinking when parroting them to be authentic and highbrow. Seriously, what? Because the audio quality on my videos is crap, all that I speak must be claptrap? Yet what we hear on radio outflow, automatically authenticated. Hello. It's an auto script. They've money backing it, making it look lit. It does not mean it's legit. So easily fooled. So what, if I wear a sharper suit, I'm a more trusted guy, put me in a tie, then I can get away with any lie. That way to rate is this kind of thinking, blinkered by stage and prop, perhaps why such things are termed trappings. Functioning as they do as props for deceptive jobs. All potential health cures quickly media suppressed, law labelled dangerous, chastised for false hope, censored with same excuse. In their controlled narrative there could be no other cure. Nope, nope, nope. Only in the top scene were we allowed hope. As for any other cure, nope. Zero other scope. Hilarious. Heaven forbid we could hold hope. No, we were not even meant to cope. We were meant to fear Granny's death and believe all of life was on a slim tightrope. The plan was always for daily life to deeply nosedive a steep slope. It was all part of the plan, all of humanity under their microscope. Boiling frogs, primed to jump from pan to needle in the arm. Come on now, this is the new litmus test. Who's still being the dope? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Yeah, right. Who fell for that one? It worked. Got all behind the doors in lockdown, under house arrest. Let's not allow semantics to distract. It was their first test to see how many would acquiesce. It was always only the hors d'oeuvre, a holding back of the main course, not presenting us with their worst, but holding it back in reserve so as not to immediately unnerve. Tip-tap-toe goes the fascist tiptoe, moving tactically unseen, go slow. All of this on a virus so bad one had to take a test to even know. What a goddamn nerve. Only cold psychopaths could serve such a cold dish serve. Honestly, when you see through it, it's one great big fucking joke, but it's not funny for long. It's actually sinister, grotesque. It's a hex. But I'll tell you this much regards their plan for the globe. They want full control of humanity in all technological scope. And this time they've really pushed out the envelope. And this time, whoa, we're giving them way too much rope. Instead of rebellion, we've got Stockholm Syndrome. What? On a survival rate of over 99%, with 80 being the median death age, where less than a decimal percent of people with infection die. And that's the figure with infection, not of the whole population. And anyway, even those figures are based on lies. And what? You want me to stay indoors, allowing my business to lose all direction, doing nothing until you get me my injection? Why? And if 1 year later deaths seem truly on the rise, though however we spin it, the numbers are still minimized, compare it to a 20-year frame, then pandemic numbers don't hold up when scrutinized. Hospices where folk go to die for all reasons under the sky, in death corona baptized, statistically living on as all became immortalized, and corona stats determined to dramatize. Those who died of corona, already likely alive. Remember that the PCR tests as positive for all manner of health problems manifest, including, wait for it, the stress. Oh, and the odd gotten mango, but be careful, saying so can get one tangoed. For those who died with corona, well, this simplistic linguistic revision on all deaths was now able to capitalize, as all other morbidities, 3 and plus besides, it now not only had these comprised, regards the novel ways to now label death, it kind of knocked the real reasons aside. I mean, how many examples does one need to see the multitude of ways in which the stats are being resized, dramatized, and maximized? And moreover, what the hell does this imply? One doesn't even need to survive, just get wise. Start asking more the first line of inquiry, why? So many ways to exaggerate shown, and why use measures overblown? Though excess deaths are the only stat that allow us to truly theorize, here we cannot ignore lockdown, biggest cause of death hands down. For this very reason alone, we many predicted a rise. Via its extreme measures, it forced many an early demise. Thousands of deaths actualized as media care became downsized. Stay at home, don't overwhelm. This, combined with fear of contagion from even entering medical zones, meant restricted access to medical advice. Cancers left untreated and undiagnosed, DNR forms on our elderly pressurized. For many in care homes, the care fictionalized. Might as well have some of our elders euthanized. You know, Kissinger's useless eaters, as he described. Fits right into their agenda of the eugenicides. And didn't they try the same DNR number secret on those not even able to sign? Like, for instance, those who are blind? Don't forget I've links to all of this shit. In the comments in blue there you'll find. And what of the suicides of those ostracized, mentally or physically agonized? How much of that was televised? Businesses crushed, from abuse in the home, now nowhere to hide. Yes, not much here to romanticize. So no, these extra deaths came as no surprise. Many of us knew it, predicted it too. We knew that the apparent cure was worse than the symptoms, and that the symptoms most could ride. Even the figures from the CDC to this now testify. So again, I ask, why? It's nothing short of a crime. We're watching forced genocide. Flatten the curve, flatten numbers on planet. The only curve I see is the ball they threw, the one they planned and with all the detail new. Time to flatten the bullshit. Seriously, open up the eyes. We are being screwed.